today we are hosting the first Unite4Rare Global Council here in Stockholm, gathering leaders from Sobi and renowned members of the Rare Disease Council and community to review with us the performance against our commitments and together shape the strategy for the future. I'm truly proud to take part in this council. It's a moment that brings us together, all of us who are committed to improving lives of people living with rare diseases.
And that's the real goal of Unite4Rare, creating things that make a difference in rare diseases and improve the lives of people living with these conditions.
Initiatives like Unite4Rare can help turn empathy into action and make everyday life easier by hopeful connections with rare disease community.
Unite4Rare is our roadmap. It's how we want to foresee, we want to partner internally and externally. Unite4Rare is really an holistic approach, a roadmap for all the company, and this means that different departments should coordinate in order to fulfill the aim of Unite4Rare.
The power of Unite4Rare is that it brings global voices together to find shared priorities. What happens here in Stockholm can ripple across the world.
The value is very tangible. The value is reflected in human lives saved. The value is reflected in better health outcomes, lives lived longer, better quality of life, and ultimately better health.
In ultra-rare diseases, collaboration is survival. Partnerships like Unite4Rare remind us that together, even small communities have a powerful voice.
Well, I think first and foremost, it's a recognition from both parts or from all parts, depending on the number of stakeholders, that we have common objectives. And once we align and agree on those common objectives, which are really essentially, I suppose, about getting access to timely, affordable and effective treatments that improve the clinical outcomes and hopefully the quality of life of patients, that once we, I suppose, agree upon how we can contribute value to agreeing on how we reach those objectives, that's the start of that process of why it's so important. So embedding the patient voice early in clinical development or in acquisition isn't optional. It's essential to make studies feasible, ethical, and meaningful.
Every figure tells the story of an experience, of a patient receiving a donation of drugs, of families receiving support, of patient organizations engaging with Sobi into meaningful activities. So it's not just the cold figure, but it's all that's behind that figure that matters.
Our experience has shown that the only way we can have genuine science that works for patients and advances not only patient outcomes, but the impact for the healthcare system is to start with the patient experience and to genuinely not only listen to the patients and understand what the needs are, but also to have the patients involved throughout the development, from the clinical trials to the bringing it to the market, to actually supporting the product as it's being used, collecting that information.
When patients' insights are collected early and continuously, solutions become more relevant. When stakeholders nurture relationships with advocacy groups, they can identify unmet needs faster. Collaboration ensures that patients are not just part of the process, they are the process.
We see so much unmet needs when in the aspect of rare diseases. So if we could collaborate on the research part and bringing the evidence together and do all the activities and also support that is so important for patients living with rare diseases.
Co-creation, in my mind, is part of the background of the industry and the link between industry partners and patient organisations and patients themselves. If you don't have co-creation, you're losing so much valuable data and valuable input from the people that we're all trying to help.
It's funny that I say that because there aren't so many similar programs. So let me point that out. But I think that they help to establish something that we've always been striving for and preaching, that you should work with patients as with equals. You should look at the insight that patients can provide, the insight into the lived experience, and this, if you like, informal knowledge that's there in patient communities. You should use that knowledge in a systematic way and allow patients to join the table and to sit there and make a contribution, make a meaningful, valuable contribution. So programs like this will create a safe space to do that, and that's tremendously valuable and important.
Sobi's sustainability strategy is really built on two pillars, and one of them is maintain commitment to patients. So Unite4Rare really serves as an umbrella for that commitment and helps us realize the promises. As a company that is engaged in sustainability, stakeholder dialogue is very important. And this meeting is really a way for us to hold that dialogue for senior leaders, to engage with patient representatives and make sure that we're on the right track to keep our promises and maintain that commitment to patients.
I really think that Sobi has been tremendously brave in not only initiating this process, but also, being committed to improvement and to being vulnerable. I mean, to improve, there's this necessary step to being vulnerable and to opening oneself up to wanting to improve, to have the difficult conversations that sometimes it takes to overcome barriers and to improve. And from that perspective, as a patient advocate who has seen quite a lot of these kinds of initiatives, I would have to say Sobi really has demonstrated a real leadership position, and it is to be congratulated for that.
I will say is that Sobi stands very much at the forefront in terms of what it's trying to do in terms of genuine support for the patient community, development of the patient community, and also having a genuine program that actually respects and listens to the patients.
Patient leader and Sobi people join together discussing about unmet needs, people with unmet needs, patients with unmet needs, and how to work together to help them.
At Sobi, we believe that actions speak louder than words. And Unite4Rare is exactly about walking the talk when it comes to partnership and inclusion. It's about breaking silos and ensuring that the patient community is not just invited to the table, but truly co-shaping the conversation. We are embedding the rare disease community's voice in every part of our decision-making process, from research and clinical development to partnering for access and support, to co-creation, education and empowerment of the community. Listening to people living with rare diseases makes us a better company and keeps us focused on what truly matters. The Unite4Rare Global Council is a clear example of this approach in action, a shared space where we learn from each other and move towards together.
Unite4Rare reflects who we are as a company, a culture built on empathy, inclusion and purpose. Seeing colleagues and patient leaders coming together in Stockholm reminds us that engagement starts inside Sobi, with every person committed to make a difference.
I mean, health policy hopefully learns from this, and that we're actually able to have health policies that support that a kind of development process, but also does genuinely then invest in the products that are bringing those kinds of benefits.
So coming here today for this meeting, I was really curious to see what to learn and what to hear about, knowing that patient engagement and Unite4Rare is really something core for us, and the engagement in our patients is in the DNA of Sobi. So I was very curious to see how we can learn more from the patient groups that we were meeting with today. And I was very happy to take with me some ideas that came out of this meeting today that could even more embed patient engagement into our everyday work at Sobi.
When patients and clinicians collaborate from the start, innovation accelerates. And so the Unite4Rare model should become the norm.